je vse, kar se zdaj odvija, podrobnosti, o katerih govorite. Poskušali bomo pa nekako vse dati na en skupen imenovalec, oziroma en fokus, en pregled temu, kar se je zgodilo. Torej, 2 dni nazaj je bil v Delu objavljen članek o konoplji, včeraj je bil objavljen članek in strani Ministrstva za zdravstvo je prišel tudi odgovor. Če strnem tisto, kar je najbolj problematično, je, da ministrstvo potrebuje 100% oziroma zanesljive argumente, neke parametre, da bi lahko napredovali. Poskušajmo jim zdaj skupaj z vašo pomočjo odgovoriti, kaj vse je potrebno, da bodo lahko stabilno pomaknili situacijo naprej. Pa bo Božo prebral odgovor iz ministrstva.
Hvala te. Jaz se zahvaljujem ministrstvu, zdaj nas je že ena gospa z ministrstva večkrat javno pozvala, čeprav naših argumentov ne upošteva, vendar bi prebral tole. To je odgovor na članek in verjetno tudi na ta seminar. I want to, guys, that you comment after it, okay?
The translation didn't work, so we didn't understand, or I didn't.
So I will read the answer of the Ministry of Health Slovenian, because they are asking us to help them on the cannabis policy. It's official. So I will read now in Slovene, and you please listen and comment it. Ministrstvo za zdravje ob zavzemanjih za legalizacijo konoplje opozarja na mednarodne raziskave. In sicer na zdravstveno ministrstvo pozivajo vse, to smo predvsem mi, ki lahko prispevajo k argumentirani razpravi o drogah v Sloveniji, da upoštevajo podatke mednarodnih in nacionalnih raziskav. Ti kažejo, da je Slovenija po dostopnosti do konoplje na drugem mestu v Evropi, opozarjajo še, da legalizacija konoplje prinese več kriminala in večjo razširjenost droge med mladimi. Na ministrstvu navajajo podatke mednarodne raziskave ESPAD in Kliničnega inštituta za medicino dela, prometa in športa, s katerima se je ta teden seznanila vladna komisija za droge. Izpostavljajo podatke iz raziskave inštituta, ki ugotavlja, da je med slovenskimi dijaki prvih letnikov srednje šole problematika drog, zlasti konoplje, izraziteje bolj prisotna kot v večini ostalih 34 sodelujočih držav. Nasplošno je zaznana dostopnost konoplje med slovenskimi mladostniki po navedbah ministrstva, ki se sklicuje na omenjene raziskave, med najvišjimi v Evropi, saj se je pred Slovenijo pri tem uvrstila le Češka. Tudi zato po navedbah ministrstva ne preseneča, da raba konoplje med slovenskimi 15 do 16 letniki Slovenijo uvršča med prvih 10 evropskih držav, kar četrtina slovenskih mladostnikov je v svojem življenju že uporabila konopljo, 12% pa jih je poročalo tudi o nedavni rabi konoplje, in ministrstvo dodaja, da se raba konoplje med mladostniki viša. Na ministrstvu opozarjajo, da se tako v svetu kot pri nas pojavlja vse več interesnih skupin, ki izražajo pobude za legalizacijo konoplje. Pobude pa argumentirajo z vse splošno koristnostjo konoplje, poslovnimi priložnostmi, večjimi davčnimi prilivi v proračun ter manjšimi stroški policije in pravosodja za nadzor na tem področju. Tovrstni argumenti so bili že večkrat uvrženi na ministrstvo. Glejte, vemo, s kom imamo posla, ampak to je zdaj uradno in uradno bi rad tudi odgovor znanstvenikov danes. Denverska raziskava več nacionalnih inštitutov za zdravje je na primer pred kratkim pokazala, da je legalizacija prodajanj konoplje povezana tudi z višjimi stopnjami premoženjskega kriminala v njegovi okolici. V Oregonu, ki je malo stran od Denverja, kjer so v preteklih letih deregulirali konopljo, ugotavljajo, da se je med letoma 2006 in 2015 z višanjem števila bolnikov, ki uporabljajo konopljo v medicinske namene, in z višanjem števila gojiteljev konoplje značilno povišala tudi razširjenost rabe konoplje med mladimi. Is that right, Bob?
They will be healthy.
From the studies I've seen in Colorado, not Oregon, so I don't know. In Colorado, that's not been the case. And from what I remember as a general recent article, that the states where medical marijuana was available, the increases in youth were not as big as in other states, but there was increases in all of these. So you have to always look at how the data is presented and how it's interpreted. You know, the bottom line is the stuff's good for you, and children who need it as well.
In na koncu še dva zadnja stavka, kar je izziv za vse nas, ki smo danes tukaj, pa bi prosili, da sodelujete predvsem pri tem. Tudi zato na ministrstvu pozivajo vse, ki lahko prispevajo k argumentirani razpravi na tem področju v Sloveniji, da upoštevajo podatke priznanih mednarodnih in nacionalnih raziskav. V zadnjem času se namreč pojavlja vse več predlogov po legalizaciji konoplje, vsaj v medicinske namene. Na ministrstvu v zvezi s tem pravijo, da je vprašanje, na kakšen način naj se regulirate proizvodnja v promet, tako za medicinske kot nemedicinske namene, zelo kompleksno in terja tehtno premislek z vseh možnih perspektiv. Kot pravijo, se stroko izvajajo številne aktivnosti in ukrepe za zakonito ureditev področja in omilitev negativnih posledic. Upam, da se je kdo prebral včerajšnji članek v Delu, če nekaj še lahko najde, jutri bo na spletu, jutri v ponedeljek, pa boste videli, v kakšnem kontekstu je to spet napisano. Mi bi pa danes morali, po moje, nekaj napisati, da rade volje ponujamo pomoč ministrstvu, ker očitno niso, ne vem, sami sposobni ali karkoli, da oblikujemo to politiko.
Ja, da sem hotel se navezati na tisto prej, da si pa dal neko drugo kost.
Se lahko na obe navedeš.
No, če se, a je pa nekaj govorim, ne vzmeš? Glede, prej ponovno glede standardizacije, ne, ravno javno zdravje in ministrstvo za zdravje vedno poudarjajo potrebo po upoštevanju te širše definicije zdravja, ne, ki jo je dala Svetovna zdravstvena organizacija in jo je od svoje ustanovitve po vojni naprej večkrat dopolnila, ne, in ta širša definicija zdravja je vedno ta, da je zdravje, a ne, tako telesno, kot psihično, kot socialno, kot duhovno dobro počutje, ne samo odsotnost bolezni. Ne? In seveda standardizacija in farmakološki determinizem, ki sem ga prej pač bolj provokativno izpostavil, se tiče predvsem telesnega zdravja. Ne? Na vsak način tako zelenjava, ne, tako paradižnik kot krompir in zdravila vplivajo tako na telesno zdravje kot na duhovno, socialno in psihično. Ne. Samo mi, ki se imamo ne, za znanstvenike, na raziskovalce, večinoma se vedno ukvarjamo samo z vplivi na telesno zdravje, ker je to najlažje in ker je to merljivo in ker se da to standardizirati. Področja zdravja, ki se jim reče duševno zdravje, da ne govorimo o socialnem, ne, druženje med nami, ne, pa da ne izključujemo ljudi, pa da smo empatični, ali pa duhovno zdravje, ne, tega v znanosti zelo redki znanstveniki to merijo, znajo meriti, še manj pa še se to znanje pojavi v politiki ali zakonodaji. To se pravi, vsa politika, vsa zakonodaja, tudi na področju konoplje je predvsem v zvezi z pač tem biološkimi vplivi. In tudi zato kaže vedno izpostavljati, in ko se prenaša naše znanje in informacije, to definicijo širšo Svetovne zdravstvene organizacije, ki se ne ukvarja samo z zdravjem, ampak tudi z dobrim počutjem. Brez dobrega počutja tudi zdravja. In uporabniki tako imenovane rekreacijske konoplje sami vedo, da jemljajo to konopljo zaradi dobrega počutja. Nihče si noče škodovati, nihče si noče slabo počutiti. Se pa ljudje seveda razlikujemo. Na nekaterih je tako imenovana zadetost prijetna, nekateri pa imajo to kot toksični učinki, ki je neprijetna. Tudi med bolniki, ki jemljajo pač medicinsko konopljo, so te razlike zelo velike in izražene. Nekaterim pravzaprav tisto, kar nekateri imenujejo zadetost, pomaga, in je pravzaprav protibolečinsko, nekaterim ne. Skratka, to so, tle se gibljamo stalno pač na nivoju med telesnim in duševnim zdravjem in seveda še duhovnim in socialnim. Ampak to se tiče tiste razprave odprej. Ta druga razprava, sem te pa Božo hotel prositi za link, da bi si v miru prebrali vsi pač ta odgovor ministrstva. Jaz sem prebral članek v delu oziroma v prilogi dela, ki je korektno pač napisan, in slišali smo govor ministrstva na ta članek. Seveda da se pač razpravljati, da se lahko protiargumente na to temo, da se tudi nekatere njihove argumente podpreti. Jaz sem včeraj prebral modro pisanje našega slovenskega zadnjega, bom rekel, skoraj modrega psihiatra v Sloveniji, ki je umrl leta 2001, profesor Leva Miličinskega, ki je že leta 1983 napisal, da se pač okoli konoplje toliko stvari dogaja in toliko je nerazumevan ali pa, bi rekel, možnosti različne interpretacije pač tudi istih člankov, istih raziskav. Zato, ker pač ni neke poštenosti med vsemi, ki to komentirajo. Če je dovolj znanstvene integritete in poštenosti med ljudmi, ki pač spremljajo literaturo o vplivih in učinkih konoplje, ki so pozitivni in negativni, lahko. Potem je seveda debata lahka in potem se nekje pride do nekih zaključkov. Če pa je premalo znanstvene integritete, potem je pa seveda vedno premalo znanja in premalo transparentnosti in so vedno neka ozadja, ko pač tisti, ki so pošteni, takratko potegnejo zaradi teh ozadij. Miličinski je pač tudi rekel, da se stvari že končajo, včasih že tam profesor, psihiater, ki ga omenjam, da se že pri zbiranju dejstev, že važno je, katera dejstva zbiramo in če pač ne zbiramo vsi ista dejstva, potem seveda je debata pač nemogoča. Zato je pač pomembna so takšna srečanja, kot je to današnje. Pač verjeten je pa najbolj konstruktivni predlog za skupna srečanja, za predstavniki odločevalcev, ki so pač napisali to pismo, ki pa seveda danes ni tukaj, če bi pač bilo dovolj integritete, pri njih bi verjetno tukaj, seveda. Mislim, da pa vsi tisti, ki smo tukaj pač in ki imamo neko znanje, smo pripravljeni sodelovati na njihovih srečanjih, ampak lahko javno povem, da deluje Ministrstvo na zdravje je po metodi izključevanja in pač vabi na svoje sestanke in srečanje samo tiste, ki sledijo pač njihovim načinu razmišljanja in njihovi ideologiji, izključuje pa vse drugače misleče posameznike, oziroma niti ne gre toliko za drugače misleče, kakor gre za moteče, tiste, ki pač transparentno delujejo in z dokazi podprto govorijo. Tako da konkretnega odgovora seveda zdaj ti nisem dal, lahko pa pomagamo in ga v miru pripravimo z dokazi podprto in tudi vmes lahko damo kakšen stavko o etiki in znanstveni integriteti.
Yes, just to add something, because there was... Okay. I was on that committee, the National Committee for Drugs, the Committee for Drugs of the Government of the Republic of Slovenia. It was the first time that we, as an association of non-governmental organizations, had been on such a meeting. And we asked for now 15 months, and there was a letter going on from the cabinet of the Prime Minister of Slovenia to the Minister of Health to include us officially into this committee. And when I arrived to the committee, they said, you are not part of the committee. And I said, yes, I am. And they said, no, we haven't got you on the governmental list of the non-governmental association who can be present on this meeting. And I said, of course not, because you have to write this to the government to be approved, and you haven't done this in 16 months. So this is one of the way how they operate. The second thing, that just to give you a context of what we've been discussing on this committee for drugs, was the list of scheduled drugs. You know that a few months ago, actually 8 months ago, they proposed, and it was accepted by the government, that the whole plant is removed from the Schedule 1 to Schedule 2. I'm telling the whole plant, not cannabis. And at the same time, there is another substance called bupropion, which is an amphetamine, which is used for heavy depression, for nicotine addiction, was completely removed from this, from any of these lists. So 1, 2, 3, or 4, there is no bupropion. In the States, it's in the second schedule. And I was not able to raise any question because they said you can just listen. You are the public who is interested in this meeting. And so this goes in line with what Dušan said. The third thing, which I think is terrible that happened, is this research of ESPAD. The ESPAD research was done with the college students, 15, 16 years old, asking, have you ever smoked pot, cannabis? And of course, 25% of them said yes. But the peculiar methodology of the Ministry of Health is, if you want to smoke a pot, you are the whole life cycle smoker. And this is how Slovenia started from 4.5% become 25% smokers or users of cannabis. And nobody asked about this interesting methodology. But on the other hand, I have a question also for them, because I think they shoot themselves in the leg. Because if coming from 4.5%, which is a minority, you come to 25% of users, by which law they can say you are not allowed to. Because this is a quarter of all the voters. Which political party will say, wow, shall we allow it or not? And this is why I think they made a huge mistake. Thank you.
Can I say something? I actually think that you have an unprecedented opportunity. I'd like to see the letter because it's I've lost a huge part of translation. But I understand that the ministry is using selective data, which is very convenient. Everyone, even the scientists, tend to apply selective data when they have an argument. So that's a normal thing to do. But I think that you have an unprecedented opportunity of answering this, and in a very public manner, which will make it very, very hard to deal with. And I'm happy to help. I'm pretty sure that there are other people that are happy to help. But if you look at the legislation, I mean in Holland, we know cannabis is legal, but very few people know that not only this contributed to very little crime rate. In fact, Dutch rent the prisons these days to the Belgians because they are empty. So that's, and for example, if something like ecstasy or something not very nice appears on the Dutch streets, actually the police find it quite easy to tell young people about the new dangers of a new pill or a new drug. So it has become quite easy to manage. On the other hand, I don't know how many of you know that cannabis is legal in the dispensary, but it's not legal outside of the dispensary. It's not actually legal to grow it. It's legal to pay taxes. So for example, the dispensary grower takes a vehicle and drives the cannabis all the way to Spain. And if he gets through all the borders into the door of his dispensary, cool. He is now legal, he can sell this cannabis and pay taxes. If, however, somebody reports his vehicle arriving with cannabis outside the door of the dispensary and he has an unfriendly policeman waiting, this cannabis will be confiscated and he will lose his income. And the cannabis growers and cannabis owners of dispensaries have been having meetings with the Dutch government for time immemorial, simply saying, look, we pay taxes, our companies, our cafes are legal, the world comes to Netherlands to smoke pot, and yet we continue to be raided for our grows and so on. So, but I think this situation can be used to the great benefit. You can probably make a case for the world because you have the opportunity to outline data, outline the case law, and I very much respect what everybody says. I understand the legal rights, the human rights, but by now we have so much data. Why don't we just give it to them? Because it's, why not? We actually have the opportunity of providing them with pretty much a published book and let them read it. And it's going to be very difficult to say that this is so horrible because we just don't have examples where a father who's just been stoned with cannabis goes and beats the wife. He doesn't. He's so stoned he can't do anything. But the guy who's drunk on alcohol, and we have very little help for people on alcohol. The guy who's just gone on drugs can hurt people, can hurt people on the road, can hurt the family. Also, in comparison to heroin, for example, cannabis is cheap. So the people who get hooked on cannabis, if you believe in that, are not going to sell their cars, their houses, the kids, because it's relatively cheap in the street. So I think, for me, you guys have an unprecedented opportunity to actually provide a very structured and very public answer. And I will wish you all the luck in the world.
And you will help.
Not necessarily an exclusion to Dorothy's suggestion, but I think that what we need is a consensus statement from the professionals who are here that specifically says things that we basically all agreed on. That people need access now, and that as the science unfolds, you know, we can do whatever adjustments one way or another, but for right now, we know there's enough evidence that people are benefiting, that people need access, so we should have a consensus statement to that effect. We don't want to segregate it and have them interpret it with their twisted minds. We want to interpret it up front.
Thank you.
I agree with the arguments. Actually, that answer opens the option of answering at the same time, and there are hundreds of arguments to really support the legalization. Probably, that was important to think on the strategy. I think from the main argument was many adolescents are going to smoke, and even more than they do it now. Well, I mean, we can really admit that it's true that adolescents are not a good population to smoke marijuana, right? The brain is going to be affected, the risk of having psychotic seizures or things related to alterations in the brain could happen. It's more likely in the adolescent. But, I mean, that's, first, I think is ideology. And second is hypocrisy, because obviously everybody drinks alcohol. Many adolescents are drinking alcohol, although they shouldn't do it in terms of the brain or many development, but it's allowed in all countries in the world. So I think that's something that could be regulated in a way that you try to avoid that people that are under 18 or under 21, they have access to cannabis. But on top of that, obviously there are a lot of arguments. And now the point is, it would be important to do the legalization upfront of the medicinal and the recreational cannabis, so it's better to take a strategy that makes first one and then the other. Because at the end, the logical thing is that I'm sure that it could be 2 years, 3 or 4 or 5, but at the end has to be legalized. But I think the point on the needs of the patients is something that is impossible to deny. That's first part should be something that, I mean, some patients need it, some patients have that need, and you can even bring the argument of these patients that have benefit of that and have improved a lot the quality of their life, and that's something that they need to give the testimony. For that's something that's going to change the minds, at least of some people in the ministry. But then, also, as they said, we need to prepare arguments to respond to this letter, because obviously this is an excuse, ideological excuse, to avoid moving forward with this, because obviously, I mean, there's no logic on this answer. Because many other drugs, many other situations that are actually illegal, they have the same risk or even higher, normally much higher. So that's not an argument, because many people need it, and many people are actually using it illegally. So what we need to do is to regulate that, to make safe access to the people. So I think it's encouraging in one way, but I think it's also giving you the opportunity, as he said, of answering and really providing the answer to all these questions.
Hello there. Now, could I just ask something, please? Now, we know we're looking at regulation and standardisation and things, but didn't we make the same mistake with antibiotics when we just had one antibiotic and then everybody got used to that antibiotic and etc. etc. Is a little difference in the compounds not a good thing? And also, how long is this going to take? You know, I've been doing this for over 20 years now, trying to help people. Now, I understand that, you know, we're all human beings and we've all got an endocannabinoid system. When is the point going to come? When is the axis of change going to be that we include it in food as a food supplement? I mean, it's a fundamental nutrient, cannabis. How can a law stop something that's a fundamental nutrient? It's like the law trying to stop you drinking water or something. It just doesn't work. How can, you know, you're using things that we're talking about, these micro-contaminants and things, and it all seems to be pointing to push people away from it. We need to be getting people into it. I mean, for God's sake, if cannabis can cure and kill cancer cells, you think there's any sort of micro bionic material or anything that's going to harm a human body.
Keep in mind, psychoactive cannabinoids are in mother's milk. That tells you that nature selected to give this to a newborn mammal. The fact that it's in mother's milk at all, the fact that mammals are an evolutionary high point, so to speak, in childcare. And mammals have mammary glands, and mammary glands give the kids pot. It's basically a dispensing vehicle for giving the kids pot. And if you also realize that 10,000 years ago is when we first started animal husbandry and agriculture, and 10,000 years ago adults could not consume milk because we had no need to, we weren't exposed to the milk. But as soon as we had milk available and dairy products and cheese, within a 4,000 year period, we evolved as adults the ability to consume milk as adults. Now, that to me suggests that those psychoactive cannabinoids and all of the other lipid metabolites that are involved in providing health to not only an infant, provide health to us as adults as well. So I think this whole attitude, this whole argument is completely wrong. I think that children who stress all week and doing their homework, their weekend reward should be to get stoned with the family and have a family relationship.
Can I comment? I think that we are on the same line, because the origin of the stress is we think about the same things, but you just say about what they need, but I think that they have found what they need. The children have found what they need. Yes. And I would just like...
Lahko tudi slovensko,
Yeah,
ko se
jaz se
prevodi.
bom and I would just like to see that jaz bi rada, da gledamo tudi, jaz bi rada, da gledamo tudi z te perspektive, tako kot smo rekli, vi ste rekli, da mislim, da otroci iščejo tisto, kar potrebujejo, ampak jaz sem hotela povedati, kaj je vzrok in na kaj bi morali ministrstvo tudi upozoriti, kako morajo gledati na podatke, ne samo da narašča in da je to pač stvar, pa povezati tudi s kriminaliteto. Vse kriminaliteta je tudi povezana s tem, kako otroci težko in slabo živijo. Tako da jaz mislim, da bi morali tudi na ta način ministrstvo opozoriti, da morajo gledati na zadeve tudi to tako in da je tudi njihova naloga in naloga celotne družbe, da popravijo življenjske razmere, ki so.
Can I make a quick suggestion? You know, the governments hate negative data. So I completely agree with you that young people today have a lot of stress, and it is the stress imposed by the way that the society developed, and it's not just here. But, you know, just paint something here. Why every kid wants to go to Amsterdam, that includes mine, because they know that they can smoke pot and no one will chase them for it. Why can't they come to Ljubljana? You know, what would be a problem with actually opening dispensaries? It's my, I think, third visit, and I have spoken to a lot of people who are talking about increasing tourism. So what's wrong with actually having regulated dispensaries where young, old, middle-aged, whatever people can come and legally smoke? There's another thing, when it's legal, it's easier to police it. You know, there's a better chance that the kids will be smoking clean pot. I mean, we have the problem in London. Okay, the kids smoke pot, but what do they have? They have fiberglass in it. There is a lot of, the pot that kids get in London is a disaster. And, you know, as a parent, I can tell you when my son started on it, I couldn't do anything, because if I told him not to touch it, you know, it would have created a problem in the family. I couldn't provide him with a better quality, despite the fact that I've got a lot in the lab. So, you know, this is a problem. So I think legalization helps people. The other thing, based on the Dutch experience, dispensaries are not allowed to sell alcohol. Any dispensary found selling alcohol is closed, and is closed irrevocably. You cannot in Holland have a glass of wine and a joint. It's either a glass of wine or a joint. And that helps, because most young people who go to Amsterdam to have fun are not going there drinking. They go there smoking. So I think, and what does this create? Income. That means young people who are stressed today could be serving coffee and joints in a dispensary, and it won't hurt them, they'll have a job. And that also means the government will take taxes, and it also means that Slovenia will take more tourists. There is nothing wrong with that.
Can I add something? I would like to
a modest proposal. I agree with you completely. What we have to do, I believe, as activists, is point out to the governments that there's a very easy way to improve the health of their population. What we do is we legalize cannabis recreationally, we tax it, and we have that money go to provide free CBD extracts to everybody in the country. And that'll reduce heart disease, it'll reduce diabetes, it'll reduce countless age-related illnesses. We're going to be doing this in other countries where we have the means to provide the CBD from one way or another, but the most logical way is for us to demand of our governments that we want an alternative healthcare system, actually, and that we want to be able to use appropriate foods and nutraceuticals and to create the epidemiology. Let's see who's right. Everybody's assumed in terms of the governments and the official, official dumb, I call it, but D-U-M-B, official dumb, the whole regulatory, pharmaceutical, medical model. What if I don't want to be part of that? I want to have a different situation. And why am I forced to be part of something that I don't believe in? As a scientist, I don't believe in it. So there are valid alternative opinions. And freedom means freedom, not free D-O-M is what we want, not free D-U-M-B. And that's what they try to give us.
I would like to change now my hat as an activist working for the association and put my hat as a bureaucrat, because I work for the state. I'm part of this big machinery of the big system. And I can tell you one thing. We are living in a world that has a lot of studies about cannabis. We have a lot of experiences what cannabis and cannabis oil has done to patients. But you must know that whenever a bureaucrat wants to stop something, he always reduces information to data. And this is exactly what this letter of the government was. They want more discussion about data in order to gain more and more time. This is how you do it. You make a committee, you collect data, everybody speaks, they go, and then in 20 years nothing goes on. This is why I think the approach to answer to this letter is no. You need to learn more. Because on the meeting with these people, I asked, there are so many studies about cannabis and what cannabis can do, and the answer was yes, but I don't have time to read them. But these people are writing this letter, these people are writing the laws. There is no way that you can talk to them. You need to cut this.
I would emphasize that we shouldn't forget what is the key problem and key question. The key problem is prohibition. Prohibition is a key problem. Prohibition is going on for more than 60, 70 years prohibition of cannabis. And prohibition of cannabis did not stop children and youth from using cannabis. Just opposite, they are using it more. Cannabis is stronger, less controlled, more risky. You know this. So prohibition is the main problem. Cannabis should never be prohibited from the first time because it is mainly medicine. So I would respond to ministry if they really want this response. I can say that we wrote hundreds of responses already, and they just don't use it then. Everything is in a drawer, their drawer, and they don't do anything. They just, like our colleague said, they want to buy some time and they are not serious. But if I were to respond them, I would first tell them and use evidence-based for this. Prohibition doesn't work. Evidence-based. Second, cannabis was always a medicine. And then ministry should provide environment for education of people and youth to use cannabis for health and wellness, not for intoxication. Very simple. This is most sincere approach. Use cannabis for health and wellness, not for intoxication. This should be a slogan, not just say no to cannabis.
But I disagree with how the government is watching.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but why didn't it turn up 3 weeks ago? Why doesn't it turn up a month later? Why does it? Because, you know, this is a very small gathering, but I think you are being watched here. People know that this is happening, and it's gaining interest. And the worrying thing from a government point of view, it's gaining interest in a very legitimate fashion. Because that's the difference. You know, if few people gather together and they have beer and they talk, that's nothing. When you have more and more people that are educated, that are clinicians, that are scientists, voicing are really serious arguments, this is now becoming dangerous. And somebody, I don't know who that was, said, well, 25% is quite a lot. So in fact, I would respond, I would make it very public, and I would give the government a very short time to respond. You guys are a very small country, maybe you need to re-elect the government if a big percentage of the population disagrees with them. You know, this is a real threat, it's not funny. I think that really, I would really respond, because that means somebody's trying to discredit what you guys are doing. And none of us, I mean you, but also us, we don't deserve it. We're very serious people, and we have spent a lot of time doing serious work. So I don't consider it funny that, you know, somebody who's written a letter in a country to which I was invited, and that letter has selective data and doesn't give good arguments. I feel offended, so I'd like to react to it, and I think so with my colleagues.
You should write.
Thank you.
Mislim da je moguće da možemo reći baš jednu konkretnu stvar, a mislim da konkretnu baš jako važnu stvar.
Já bych chtěl říct, že v podstatě konopí je jenom jedno. A konopí se liší pouze obsahem účinných látek. A jestli...
Gospodin Bednar kaže da konoplje ima samo jedno. Samo je razlika koliko količina ovih aktivnih substanci ima.
Protože se používá většinou pouze konopí s poměrně vysokým obsahem THC a CBD je poměrně málo ještě prozkoumané.
Zato da se koristi konoplje sa visokim, jakim sadržajem THC-a i CBD.
Snažili jsme se tady včera prezentovat v podstatě cestu, jak lze léčbu konopím umožnit tisícinásobně většímu množství lidí, možná i více, kteří mají různé choroby.
Zato je probao jučer pokazati put da se ljude liječe sa tisućama bolestama.
Jsme 2 roky pracovali s konopím, které má velmi nízký obsah THC.
Radio je 2 godine sa konopljem koje ima jaki mali sadržaj THC-a.
Bylo to záměrně, protože jsme si uvědomovali, že koncentrace THC v podstatě limituje počet pacientů.
To bilo je zato da je znao da koncentracija THC-a limitira količinu pacijenata.
A podařilo se najít kombinace, kdy využíváme extrakty z konopí s velmi nízkým obsahem THC.
A uspio je naći kombinacije ekstrakta iz konoplja koje ja kažem da nema THC-a. Bednaži kaže da ima jake male količine THC-a. Na to je rozličná.
A kombinovat to s některými dalšími látkami přírodního původu, které jsme získali z léčivých rostlin.
I kombinirati to sa drugačijima substancijama z drugih bilin koje su za liječenje u način.
A za ty 2 roky jsme mohli pracovat zhruba se 200 humánními pacienty.
U ovih 2 godina je se moglo da se radi sa 200 različitim pacijentima sa različitými bolestama.
A u zhruba 60 veterinárních pacientů jsme pracovali.
I radilo se sa 60 životinjama, 60 pacijentama iz veterine.
A ten preparát, který mícháme z konopí a z léčivých rostlin, obsahuje pro dospělého pacienta.
A taj preparat sa kojim se radi sadrži za odraslého pacijenta
pouze zhruba 2 mg THC na den.
Samo 2 mg THC po danu.
A zhruba 30 mg CBD na den.
I 30 mg CBD po danu.
Vzhledem k tomu, že při výrobě využíváme i ostatních konopných kanabinoidů,
zato da se koriste i ostale kanabinoidy.
A tyto jsou kombinovány s účinky obecně známých léčivých rostlin.
I to je kombinirano sa sinergijom ostalih léčivých bylin.
Tak bylo dosaženo i při těchto velmi malých koncentracích kanabinoidů.
I zato je bilo, došli smo do rezultáta, do ovakých rezultáta,
které v podstatě dokazují, že konopí v tom malém množství těch látek dovede tělu pomoci.
Koje je kao dokaz toga da konoplje u jakim malim količine može pomoći.
Ti pacienti nemohou, řeknu to 3krát, být nějak psychicky, psychogenně ovlivněni.
I da kaže, pacijenti 3 puta moram kazati, ne mogu biti psihično ovljivljeni. Ne mogu biti pod...
Zadeti.
Da. Evo. Stoned, je.
A je to jenom důkaz toho, jak konopí pracuje v podstatě až na úrovni homeostáze. A to je základ pro zdraví.
I to je dokaz da konoplje radi na podstave homeostázy a to je to, o čem se radi.
To vidíme jako základní možnost využití konopí, protože to je využití konopí v prevenci vzniku.
I to se vidí kao podstava, temelj radnje sa konopljem, zato da je konoplje u stvari bi trebalo da se koristi kao prevencija za sve.
I have something to add. Here I am.
Ah, sorry.
Yeah.
Go on.
I've been listening, all of you, and a lot of people are saying what we have to do. I think that what we have to do, we are already doing, and I think the colleague from Croatia just basically explained us when this legalization will happen, and maybe it's a little evil thing for me to say, but it's going to happen when most of the people are going to get ill, unfortunately. We have proof with people that are walking on this earth that should be dead, and this isn't enough. Dan before said that people in ministry and in this institution, they don't want to listen, but they will eventually. I'm now facing a trial for my activism, and what's funny is that most of the people that stand in the courthouse facing a trial are, of course, either guilty or not, and if they are guilty, they're criminals. By the papers that the prosecutor got, I'm guilty as hell, you know. They got 7 kilos, I don't know how much oil, they got grow boxes, everything. I did sell to people, I also gave them something. And what's funny is that when these people are witnesses that I helped, there have been like 16 of them until now, and it's really funny when they come and they're talking all these good things about me, how I helped them, and the judge, the look on her face when she's listening to all of this is really strange, you know. She's the one that will have to convict me because they have enough evidence. But what I see on her face that she's going to do this with a very hard, with a very bad heart, you know. And I think, as I said, it's evil, maybe a little bit for me to say, but this will happen, unfortunately, when enough people get sick. When every second policeman will have cancer, when every second judge will have cancer, when every second kindergarten teacher will have cancer, when every second human being on this planet will have cancer or other heavy disease. And that's why maybe in conclusion, as Buddha said, the patience. We have to be patient. Unfortunately, a lot of people will die, but as we see it, it's no other way. I think if someone thinks that there is another way, I would be glad to listen, because I think we've threw all our aces on the table and none of them helps. That's it from me. And by the way, Dr. Bob, you're disqualified as a witness, unfortunately. Thank you again that you were prepared to testify in my case.
Maybe I can add a word of encouragement. Canada, where it's going legal right across the country next year, owes that mostly to court cases that have set precedent in the law around cannabis. It began with a fellow who was an HIV patient back in the 1980s, and it was the only medicine that worked for him, and that set a precedent for other AIDS patients, and that's continued on. I know one fellow who took one joint, he got busted with it to the Supreme Court of Canada, and he defended himself all the way through municipal court, provincial court, to the Supreme Court. That's just a word of encouragement for you standing up and showing the law that you can make a difference, and congratulations for doing that.
Just please finish your thoughts, because we will have a break now. It's already prepared.
Just to add on that, I know the situation is complicated. I think we don't know, at least I don't know the situation specifically in Slovenia. But I think the strategy at the end of the day is marketing. I can tell you what we have tried to do in Spain. So first, there are patients that are speaking very well. They can do the very good testimony. And sometimes journalists are interested, so they are going to TV, they are going to newspapers, there are interviews. That's helping to change the opinion of the people. Then obviously there are different political parties. I don't know exactly the situation in Slovenia, but I'm sure that there will be an opposition, and maybe some of them they are more in favor than the others. And you can always press with them and try to work into the system. And that's what we have tried to do in Spain. So obviously, for instance, the situation in Spain, we have the right-wing party in power. Obviously, they are against medical cannabis or cannabis in general. However, the other political parties are more in favor. And then we also identify some individuals. For instance, there are families that are right-wing parties, but still they have patients in their families, and some of these patients have got benefit of cannabis. So obviously, they can do testimony, and step by step, you can try to modify the opinion of a significant part of the population. I know that this is not maybe helping, but at least that's a strategy that we are following. I think step by step, the situation is changing. More and more people are in favor of that, and more people, even in the parties that are more against cannabis, they realize that they need to change something. So I think one has to be not discouraged completely. I know it's complicated, but one cannot surrender. You need to use different strategies to try to target the higher possible amount of the population, and then the things will change. Because at the end you need to vote. And if you vote and you change the government and you get a government that is in favor of that, you will get a change. I know it takes time and it's discouraging sometimes, but I think you have to be positive.
But I, as a patient, MS patients don't have time. You understand? I'm trying to save my life. I'm sorry, my name is Juanito. I'm an MS patient and I'm trying to save my life. I'm also in a fourth situation. I'm sorry. So my name is Juanito. I'm an MS patient. I'm 39 years old. I have MS symptoms since I was 16, and the doctors told me there is no chance for anything for them to help me with anything, and I took my life in my hands. And somehow I got information that hemp, cannabis or marijuana helps, and then I actually learned it's first food, and it's not psychoactive if we eat it. So it's first food and then medicine. Well, Hippocrates said that. Right? So food is medicine. And you're telling me as a doctor, you should be on my side and fighting for my life here with me. I'm sorry? No. I don't have time to wait. I'm sorry. I have to take cannabis every day. It doesn't matter. How much water can I drink? As much as I need. How much food can I eat? As much as I need. It's my right of choice. Right for life. Right for food, right for water, right for anything that I can do to help myself, to live on this earth, to have a good quality life, not to cry, not to go to sleep, to wonder, wake up.
You know, this underlines one thing: the knowledge is power. The fact that you, as a patient, are willing to share your story is extremely important. And that's what we need to do. People going to court need to share their stories. We need to share the information. The knowledge is power. You know, I'm originally Polish. We believe that we have managed to get out of the communism because we had knowledge. We need to share it. And I think you need to produce data, share knowledge, give knowledge to people. Maybe some of the government people will be dumb and won't listen, but they eventually will.
You know, what right does anybody have to tell you what you could or not do to save your life? We have legislation now that's coming, it's already been submitted in Iowa, and it's already been submitted federally. We're passing laws that make it a crime to interfere with somebody trying to save their life. And we're doing this because we commit crimes by shipping cannabis illegally through the mails to save people's lives.
Thank you, everybody. I will not speak Slovene. Rok Svetek je nam pripravil zdaj eno spodaj zakusko povabo, da vse spodaj 1 uro imamo časa, ko pridemo nazaj, upam, ko bo so vsi ob 4 že dosegljiva, pa te zadnje uro bomo pa zaključili z to skupno izjavo, ki jo bomo pač poslali na njih. Before we end, I want that in this last hour we somehow make this statement, and we would also like to have your feedback on this seminary. We would like to hear about your proposals for the next seminaries, what you are missing, what should be better. You all have to know that we are amateurs, we are not paid by anybody, so we do this mostly on a, you know, activism way. I want to thank you all that you attend this before we end, because on the end I want that we all who want, of course, make a common photo in the front of the building under the big sign, Cannabis Renesansa. And we will send this photo also to our government. And Dorothy, thank you. We decided to cut out your
my photo. That's okay.
that your statement that you feel very, you know.
Oh, no.
Yes, we will send them this as well, because it's really humiliating that nobody from government or so-called expert from Slovenia, they don't attend this, you know. One veterinary was here. Veterinary chamber noticed all veterinarians in Slovenia. There are 700 something, and one was here. So that's the result. And the doctors were not too many. So I will give you now the word, and I will ask you also to be active in this last hour to make the good statement for our government, and you all promise to sign it as well. Thank you.
Before we start, Sue, can I ask you to just tell us what are the biggest problems with your study until now, and how the NIDA and FDA, you know, what problems do you have with that? Just very shortly.
Sure, yeah, the biggest problem is, I think I showed you guys the pictures of the cannabis that we're forced to use. The marijuana study drug is so inadequate, you know, it barely even resembles real cannabis. And so I think that's the biggest challenge we have, is that when you're forced to start with this as your core material. One of the military veterans said this is like trying to make a 3 Michelin star meal using Vienna sausages. You know, it just really sabotages the study from the beginning. But then it's just all the layers of government red tape around this work. I mean, you can see it took us 7 years to get through all of the regulatory hurdles. And sure, now we're finally underway and we're enrolling patients, but it shouldn't take 7 years to do a study that was from the beginning, had FDA approval and was fully funded. It's just shows you all the, how politically radioactive this drug is that, that the government continues to, the government is working very hard in the US to try to block this kind of research because they know that if there's data that gets published that proves that cannabis is effective, which there already is, but they try to deny that. But if they have to try to keep blocking new research from coming to the surface because that might soften the public's attitude about cannabis, and they can't allow that to happen because that might continue, add more public pressure toward legalization. So the government has found very effective ways of blocking this work by creating all kinds of administrative hurdles. They've added layers of approvals that no other drug in Schedule 1 has to deal with, and that's how they've managed to create this problem. So
this is Dorothy Bray. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. First observation, there's something about 7 years in the US. It took me that many years to do a study on antiretrovirals in Africa with Mike Cohen many years ago. It seems that 7 years is an optimal time to develop and start a clinical study, so you're not alone. But I have a question. Your cannabis that you don't like, or the cannabis that you have received, is there any chance that you could get this analyzed? Because, I don't know whether you have the right to ship. There are people in the US that could do it, or you could ship to us here legally. I actually have a laboratory that holds the license. And it would be legal for me to receive a substance like that from the US, or you can do it alternatively. It just would be very interesting to see the full spectrum of cannabinoids that you have. Well, Dr. Buck, who is sitting next to me, assures me that the entity that provided it to you already has it, but if I were you, I'd be analyzing it.
Yeah, no, this is an excellent question, and I appreciate your comments at the beginning about how long it took you to get this work underway. I really admire your perseverance and sticking in there, and this is really a test of people's stamina. Anyone who wants to do this kind of research, you really have to have the determination to get through all these obstacles, and then it's really worth it. I mean, we're actively in the middle of the study now, and it feels like such an honor to walk in there every day and work with these patients. But to answer your question about the lab testing, very important issue. We are the first research team in the US to ever do secondary testing on federal government cannabis. Can you believe this? And it's nobody's fault except the government. The researchers, I'm sure, have wanted to conduct this secondary testing, but they make it so impossible to do that. They have a chain of command where you're only allowed to send the federal government cannabis to a Schedule 1 licensed lab, and they won't tell you who those labs are. So the DEA refuses to disclose who actually has a Schedule 1 license as a laboratory. So we spent 6 months cold calling labs all over the country and finally found a couple that were willing to do this. And just to summarize, the first round of lab testing showed excessively high levels of mold, of fungus in all of the batches that we received. So we received 4 different batches, one with high THC, one with high CBD, things like that. So anyway, all of them had skyrocketed levels of mold and then and excessively high levels of lead as well. So then we did a second round of testing at a different lab that also had a Schedule 1 license, and it also showed high levels of mold and all, but it didn't show the lead, and it didn't show any other contaminants. Since we're doing a smoking study, all of the patients in the study will be smoking cannabis. So we decided to proceed because first of all, we don't have any other legal supply of cannabis that we're allowed to use. So this was our only option. And we felt that because people were smoking, that the mold would be burned off through the process of combustion. But believe me, we didn't want to use this study drug, and we continue pressuring our government to try to force them to license other growers for research, but in the meantime, we're stuck with this. I wanted to mention too, we did summarize all of the lab testing results in a report that we've put on our website. And so what I'll do is, I'll send you that report. It goes over all of the tests. So the good news is, it really is cannabis, even though it doesn't look like it. But you'll see from the lab testing, there really are various cannabinoids in it, there are terpenes in it. It just, it doesn't really resemble the cannabis that we're used to seeing. But I'll send Bojo that lab report so you guys can look at it.
So do you know which mold it was, which compounds?
That's the problem, is we didn't have that kind of sophisticated, so it just confirmed that there was mold colonies throughout, but it didn't say, the only thing we knew was there was no pathogenic toxin, like aspergillus or something like that.
So there was no aflatoxin or mycotoxins in it?
Oh, I'm sorry, that aflatoxin and mycotoxins were negative, so that's another reason we felt like so it must have been some kind of benign mold forms, that's why but still, it's just unfortunate that our government can't produce cannabis without mold. I mean, we've been doing studies for years on HIV patients who are immunosuppressed, and the idea that our government is giving them moldy cannabis is pretty discouraging.
It's particularly ironic because we have such rigid standards in places like Colorado that the feds wouldn't pass it.
That's right, it never would have passed there.
Maybe it's illegal to ship federal weed into Colorado because they don't meet Colorado standards. We should look into that.
That's true.
But your sample can undergo sterilization. No problem.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, say that again?
Sterilization. We tried it in one hospital here by different ways, like autoclaving and other forms of sterilization, and then you can use it without any problem.
That's true. We did talk about that. I heard that you could autoclave or just put some gamma radiation on it. I thought to myself, it would be nice if the government would do that before they sent it out to us. You would think they would strive to, take care of that problem before they ship it.
The government policy is to kill the veterans and to kill sick people. And until everybody realizes that that's government policy, they'll get away with it. It's true.
Okay, guys, thank you. Now we have another, let's say, 20 minutes, and I want to ask you guys to give some statement on the end before we end this conference. Also you, Lumir, about how you see cannabis and whole situation maybe in very near future. And how can we contribute to, to do it as quick as possible? Okay? And then we'll end, and I will ask you all attendees who wants to come downstairs to have a common photo.
Okay, I try to do very quickly. I went through this statement of the Ministry of Health about what are the suggestions of the Ministry of Health, how we should approach. This is a question to this forum, to you as an expert, and to the general public. And I saw they have more or less five big points. First one is to answer to the question that more studies and analysis are needed before we get through legalization and decriminalization. or do we need more practical cases? Then the second one is what comes first, medical, or is it medical and then...
There was a proposal to answer these questions or comment one at a time. Because
one at a time.
We have a short-term memory.
Okay.
You can answer it pretty much in their own words. There are many experts here, I'm sure, as well, that are willing to discuss it and to provide evidence. So I think that needs to be rephrased in a line with what everyone says.
Further on, they are saying that asking everybody who can contribute to the argumented discussion in the field to consider only those data and studies who has international and national relevance.
But that's also not a problem, because again, if you look, yesterday I purposefully, when I was giving my talk, I dropped all the studies about psychotic effect of cannabis, because there are plenty of them. You know, and they are published in peer-reviewed journals. And I think as a government, they cannot say we need a discussion and, you know, everybody has to contribute. It's not a general election. You need to create a framework for interacting with the government, because, you know, I can go there on Monday, but I'm sure no one will want to see me. So they need to allow people, experts, speak to them, and it's their responsibility to create the framework, and it needs to be created quickly.
There's two things going on from what I see. On the one hand, we have what I call the medical marijuana community. And there are people all around the world using cannabis on a daily basis for just about every illness imaginable. And for the most part, most often they are finding benefits that transcend the benefits, if there were any, from the various drugs that they had been using. So they choose to make that switch. And the people who are making that switch are in many respects no longer supportive of what previously had been their vision of what medicine is and what a doctor does. Because they now understand that they were not able to be helped by the conventional approaches, but now found this very simple and safe alternative that has these humongous benefits, for which we do have sufficient science to be able for everyone to say, yes, the endocannabinoid system does regulate literally everything in our body from conception till death. That's no longer ambiguous science, that's real. So with a foundation like that, how many things in the world could we say that of? How many things are so central to so much, so often, everywhere? This is something that's truly unique, and because of its safety profile in terms of lethality, we are being denied the most fundamental right to manipulate our health, our minds, in a fashion that just can no longer be part of the future of the human race, especially when one clearly sees that the endocannabinoid system in the human brain has continuously increased as we've evolved. So what that basically says is that the current prohibition is preventing us from being more like what we will be based on what has happened in the past, and therefore what will probably occur in the future. So we need freedom, sure we need science, but because of safety we don't need the regulations, we need to listen to what the people say. Why is it that governments place so much stock in experts who, in the case of cannabis for the most part, have no real experience, and yet they've got hundreds and thousands of their citizens who are saying, yes, my cancer fell off, or I can walk again. Why can't governments listen to their own people? What is wrong with the whole social structure that our governments think they know better and refuse to listen to the people who have the direct, real experience? You cure your cancer, you don't give a damn whether or not it was FDA approved or anything else. You know you cured your cancer. And we see that every day, all the time, and that's the problem. There's a tremendous loss of revenue to the established system where our pharmaceutical companies are in bed with our politicians who are in bed with the medical establishment, and there's a whole world of illusion that's been created that we are indoctrinated with, and it is killing us. So it's time to have our government stop killing us and allow us to be free individual human beings and explore the opportunities that nature has given us.
Adding something on that, obviously, that's the real reason. But probably in order to convince the government, you can also claim that there are already different countries in the world, and you can actually do a list that actually have legalized or medical marijuana or marijuana in general, including several states in the United States, but also other countries. And also there are a lot of...
In Europe.
Yeah, and in Europe, Germany, to start, that's probably very important in this context. And also you have already a lot of reports really explaining very clearly, and we can maybe write down some reports later, but even from the World Health Organization, recognizing the medical properties of marijuana, for at least for several applications. So that's already more than enough justification to say there is enough science already at this stage to say that medical cannabis could be appropriate. So probably more research to have to be done, yes, but it's enough what we have already today as to demonstrate that it's really having a benefit. So.
And it's enough in peer-reviewed literature. Actually, there are data on meta-analysis that shows very clearly that it's an effective painkiller. You know, and I know a lot of you would like to see it used for everything, but when you speak to the government, you just provide them with a hard data. And, you know, anyone who will say that this has the lowest profile than morphine or heroin says nonsense. It's not true.
May I add this general proposal how to prepare the response for government? I think the added value, diplomatic added value, diplomatic response would be that such response would be signed by scientists and professionals plus patients.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, patients. When we will make a statement, we should make clearly that this response was prepared together by professionals and patients. Because when probably media will quote our response, this would bring much more added value that we prepare this response together with patients. It should be clearly stated.
That's a good idea.
Professionals and patients. We have enough research reports and information. We don't have enough information from patients. It should be clearly that they are supporting what we are doing. Actually, we are supporting patients. Patients are supporting us. This should be clear.
Can I ask from the patients here in Slovenia, if people come forward, do they risk, you know, some sort of disclosure and reprisal? Should that be anonymous, or can they actually disclose it? You know, obviously would love to see patients coming forward, but equally, in statements like that, you typically, you know, I will sign my name. I'm a researcher and I'm not frightened of, you know, what I do, but if I was a patient here, can they actually do that disclosure, or is it better to provide them with a clean page where they can sign it without disclosing their names, because we don't want to make the life more difficult than necessary?
This approach may be tricky because we can find some of the patients who will be willing to sign this, but not all of them. And but what I think is good that we get a statement from you guys. You are the experts. You can write 1, 2, 3 sentences about the conclusion suggestions and what we've been talking here, what are suggestions about the future of cannabis legalization and so on, that we can include it in an answer to the Ministry of Health, because they actually put a towel and ask you to do it. Especially, I would like really a clear answer from you, or from Bob or from Sue, about the mentioning of the study in Denver, saying that the criminality has gone up, that all data are gone worse because of dispensaries of cannabis in Colorado. This is a clear lie, but I would like somebody who is from there to answer based on experience and based on data that can be reachable. It should not be Božo or me, because we are local side guys, but if you can do it, it's perfect. So Guillermo also can say a lot about studies that have been done in labs together with medical doctors about what being performed. Paul can answer about a way regulation and evaluation and all this stuff that is going on. You and Bob, you know what to do. Yes.
I can provide very, very easily lists of references for any particular topic. So if we want to look at pain, I can spit out a pain reference for cannabinoids in pain or for cancer in pain in a formatted fashion with, article, title, etc. So we can do that for cancer, etc. There are many pages. Cancer alone is like about over 900 articles. But it's easy enough to do, so I can help if you want to have an addendum of lists.
This is exactly what I would like to have. Specific what do you see, and then we need a common suggestion for you, including with the public and the patient who are here. We suggest to the government of Slovenia to do this and that. Now they cannot simply throw it away in the toilet.
The toilet might blow.
Yes.
One thing, every week is published between 50 and 100 publications on cannabis in average. Many of them are just publications of medicinal usefulness of cannabis. And then we should remember also from National Institute of Health two scientists, George Kunoš and Paul Bacher. They recently published publication, and there is a strong statement that probably in near future we will treat almost all diseases with cannabis. And it's not without interest that George Kunoš is scientific director of National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, and Paul Bacher works in the same institute.
Vidíme, že přibývá objektivních vědeckých důkazů.
Svi vidimo da će se pojavljati više i više dokaza, da, ali samo da one imaju. Neće ima telefona sam. Više dokaza.
Důkazů, které jsou potvrzeny lékaři, kteří ty pacienty léčí.
Dokaza koji su potvrđeni lekarima, doktorima koji vide te bolesti i te rezultate.
A vidíme, že ti pacienti vůbec nemusí být nějakým způsobem psychicky ovlivnění, psychogenní látkou. Teď nemluvím o rakovině.
I oni sami svi vide da taj pacijent nije pod vplivom te da.
A medicína to není jenom léčení už vypuklých chorob, nebo už onemocnění, které máme.
I medicina nije samo liječenje još bolesti koja postoji.
Medicína je především prevence. Prevence, aby vůbec nemoc nevznikla.
U stvari je medicina prevencija i samo opet prevencija da bolest ne postoji uopšte.
Když vidíme objektivně, že konopí dokáže pracovat s organismem na úrovni homeostáze,
kada vidimo da će konoplje saraditi sa organizmem na nivou homeostáze,
a organismus v homeostáze si vždycky lépe poradí s jakýmkoliv problémem,
i taj samotni organizmus sam može napraviti, sam si će pomoć kad je u homeostázi.
A vidíme jako použití konopí jako novou cestu a využití konopí v malých koncentracích na prevencii v medicíně.
Znači da u stvari vidimo da konoplje je nova cesta da možemo kao perpetuum mobile, možemo se prevencijom liječiti sami i ne trebamo kemične lijekove. I to je to.
Bravo. Minister zdravotnictví sám ví, kolik stojí léčba a kolik stojí prevence. Prevence je vždycky 10% vlastní léčby.
Sam gospodin ministar, ne znam da li imate ministra ili ministri, sam gospodin ministar mora da zna koliko košta liječenje i koliko košta prevencija. I samo mora da vidi sam i da može poličiti, izračunati šta je bolje, ili prevencija ili liječenje.
Tady bych chtěl teda říci, že závěrem, že ta prevence a konopí, práce s konopím v homeostáze vidíme jako základ další nové cesty.
I sada bi na kraju htio da kažem da svi moraju da vidu da je konoplje cestom za, preventivnom cestom za homeostazu u organizmu i da možemo da se liječimo sami. Svi.
Well, there is a problem with that from the government point of view. Showing that prevention works is more expensive than showing that therapy works. And it's nothing to do with cannabis. In medicine, showing effective prevention is the most expensive thing. So if you don't want to do it, then demonstrating it is a big challenge. But I agree with you that there is a possibility of doing it.
In terms of things that we can expect governments to do or hope that governments will do, there's on the Denver Post, they have a whole section called the cannabis. And they have all the latest up-to-date news of relevant things. So here's one example of what we could hope our government might do. Federal bill introduced to protect medical marijuana. States provide access to veterans. So a bipartisan group of senators and representatives has introduced legislation to protect patients in states where medical marijuana has been legalized. The bill introduced Thursday is known as the Compassion Access Research Expansion and Respect States Act. It would not legalize medical marijuana federally, but it would amend federal law to officially allow states to set their own medical marijuana policies. Under the bill, the Veterans Affairs physician would be able to recommend medical marijuana to their veteran patients, which they are currently barred from doing. And it goes on, but you get the idea. We should be expecting our governments to support us, to help us, because the science is on our side and the people are on our side. And if they want to remain in government, they better be on our side.
Простите, само ko znova pokličem Mirja, ker je očitno it's limited time if you have free version.
Everybody, I have just one more thing.
We're back.
He's back.
Yes, good.
No, you can tell.
We need to address exactly what they have published with the study of ESPAD and about this incredible rise of users, because they're always using the argument we cannot allow legalization and total decriminalization because we must care about the youngs, about the youth. And they did it the wrong way. We know it that this study is on really fragile basements. But still, I need somebody to write that legalization in Colorado or somewhere else showed different data that they are now selling to the general public. Because we know that they are not telling the truth. They are not telling which study in Denver showed it, because this is the way they are doing. They don't have any references. So what we need to answer to them, all that what you're saying is not reflected in the information and data that we have, and we are coming from that country that you are referencing to.
But you need to give us the exact text and what they are exactly referencing, because otherwise it's impossible to. What does the statement say?
They don't give references. They
But
make a general statement. They
saying
say
what?
That
I will
Saying, yeah,
yes, okay.
but no references to it. They just take it out of thin air.
Yes.
The ESPAD study, it's a long one.
We all know that they are lying to us. You know, don't bother with them. But I suggest that we will make common statement tomorrow or even today on our dinner. We will publish this statement on our websites, on any from Oko, Wheatfeast, I don't know, any website. And we will invite you also to give your suggestions. One suggestion is already made. Ted Hong, who comes from South Korea, he said that this statement should be internationally, because just now in Korea you can have a severe, prison for if you want to help your son. So maybe he's right, and this statement should be done internationally through our, social media or whatever. Okay, so we will do statement at the latest tomorrow. It will be available on our website. We will publish these links on Facebook, on everything. So, and you will sign it when it will be so far. Okay. Maybe last word from each of you speakers.
One sentence. Message to everybody.
Well, I start. I think definitely there is more than enough evidence to support the use of medical marijuana, and I think that's something that should be legal all around the world, and specifically in Slovenia. Obviously, there are many things that need to be done to understand well how it's working, in which diseases we can have additional mechanisms, but already what is known today is more than enough. And it's clear there is a lot of patients that are benefiting today of the uses of marijuana, and they have the right to have these uses. And I think it's very urgent to be able to provide a solution for these patients, because they can't wait. They need the medical marijuana today. So I think it's important to transmit this opinion to everyone. And I think, obviously, the fact that some countries have already implemented these changes in the legislation is encouraging, and means that the other countries that have not done it up to date, like Spain or maybe Slovenia, they have the hope to do it rapidly. And really that would be the main message.
Paul?
Yeah, I've given up caring whether cannabis is legal or not many years ago. I don't really care anymore, because it was stupid to prohibit it in the first place, and I've always said it. I tell my friends, just pretend that it's legal. This is a crowd here that's working to have cannabis legalized. I'm not really the person to talk to, because I don't play the political game, and It's the most useful plant on the planet. It's been prohibited for 90 years, and it's time to stop it. And thank you very much for coming to this event. It's people like you that will make the change. When I used to give talks in the early days, the room was half full of dreadlocks. And now it's like witnessing enormous change in the interests and the people that are attending these. So thank you very much for being here.
Because of the incredible power of the endocannabinoid system and how we are seeing results of utilizing the endocannabinoid system to modulate literally everything in our body. So if we have too much pain, the answer really is that we need more cannabinoids. If we're depressed, we need more cannabinoids. It winds up working for all of these different things in very simple ways in many cases. You know, a depressed person, 5 milligrams of THC and a little sucky candy, and their world changes. They don't get high, it just changes their world. Now, the thought that we would have governments insisting on keeping their head in the dark, that insisting on trying to tell us that the earth is flat. We're not that stupid, but the fact that they're trying to tell us that shows us how stupid they are. So until we really have true cannabis freedom, what the governments are doing all around the world is basically fighting Mother Nature, fighting the will of God that has created us through the use of this endocannabinoid system, and for which we're fortunate enough to have this hyper-variable plant that can adjust as we need it by giving us all of these strains for us to explore with virtually no toxicity and incredible results reported everywhere. Who in their right mind would ignore these truths? The fact that our governments continue to ignore them tells me that there is something fundamentally wrong with the people in government. I believe that we have a collection of cannabinoid deficient people, blips, backward-looking people I call them, because their lack of cannabis does not allow them to embrace newness. So they're stuck looking backwards, which is prohibition. We are trying to look forward to create a healthy, happy planet, and they're resisting that. We are in tune with nature. We are healing ourselves, and they are fighting us and putting people in jail for doing this. Proof of their incompetence. We cannot let them get away with it any longer.
Well, I'm a scientist, so I like the evidence because I've been told to find it.
We are the evidence.
Don't argue with me. I'm actually looking here at Reuters, Scientific Americans, which actually quotes precisely the data that your government had quoted. And it's very interesting because, and I have to put my glasses, I'm getting old, it says that biannual, that's Scientific Americans, that data from Reuters, it says biannual poll by the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment also showed the percentage of high school students indulging in marijuana in Colorado was smaller than the national average among teens. Just look at that. Okay? Now, there is another fraction in the United States that doesn't agree with it. Now, it could be both pieces of data are cool, nevertheless, please do not select, because what is being quoted here isn't a peer-reviewed paper. That's a problem. This is data. The data are conflicting, therefore, the conclusion doesn't make sense. So I actually think, here is the answer that we can very easily provide. We are being asked to provide peer-reviewed data, and we will because we have to. We are being quoted one side of data that is not balanced. So that's the problem. It's a problem in approach to the matter. we should look at all data. And so I think we need to continue what we are doing and providing more evidence. And I think, you know, this has been a very small meeting, but I enjoyed it very much. If you have me, I'll be back. It's been a very refreshing thing to see patients, and I really, really applaud them for coming forward, because that's not easy. You know, it's very personal to stand up in front of everybody and say I was sick and I've done it, especially in a country where this is not legal. So that's very special, and I would very much like to everybody to give them applaud for that.
Konopí nám může pomoci léčit celou řadu nemocí a uzdravit celou řadu pacientů.
Konoplje nám môže pomôcť za uzdravlenie ogromných količín pacienta i ogromných količín bolesti.
Při této léčbě nejsou nijak psychicky ovlivněni.
U ovoj liečby nisu nikako psychično u psychičnom djelovanju.
Konopí můžeme pracovat i v prevencii chorob.
Sa konopljem možemo raditi toliko samo sa prevencijom.
Prevence znamená zdravého člověka.
Prevencija znači zdravi čovjek.
A člověk má právo na zdraví.
Čovjek ima pravo na svoje zdravie. Samo još ja bi jednu stvar, rekao mi čovjek davno, kako ćeš poznat, moraš umret. Isto kao Kristus, Da Vinci, gospodin Tito. Onda ja preporučujem ovim vašim urednikom i ovim novinarima i tima da bi oni nisu trebali da su bolesni, da bi shvatili o čemu se radi.
The last statement from you,
As I said, every week many publications which support and which prove that cannabis is medicine and that it's important medicine, that it's medicine which is for 1,000 years, and there is no reason to stop this process. We have more and more, not only studies in vitro on animals, we have also more and more studies clinical, which prove it. And I understand that pharmaceutical companies are very powerful, but we must be unified and we must do everything that we go through this board which they built against us, and we must do everything to make cannabis available for patients, because it's without any doubt and nobody can stop us. That's all what I mean.
My last sentence, since I was also the lecturer, I think Slovenian Ministry of Health is trying to tell us something that we called evidence-based medicine or evidence-based science. This is important, evidence-based medicine is important, but I would add also that the patient's stories should become equal part of this evidence, not subordinate, not weaker part of evidence, patient stories, individual patient stories, should become the equal part of this evidence, and professionals from a scientific field, from activist field, should help to translate the voice of patients, the patient stories, to policy. They should be this link. They should, here is what we have to work on this and improve on this. So, two things. The patient's stories, the patient experience, their values should be respected.
I come from a different world than you are here.
Just talk in the microphone.
Yeah. I'm Korean, as you know. I introduced myself. I totally envy you because you brought the expert in the world and have a meeting and conference to talk about this subject. In our country, absolutely no. This is a taboo word and nobody talk about it. Now, as I recognize myself is the other world. So this is international meeting, I believe. You peoples want to legalize this one for your people, but the message must be included for general public, where those people still believe cannabis is evil drug. And many people, more than half of the world population believe that way still. Okay, so we need to address for simple those ignorant people that cannabis is very potential for medical use. So their government to recognize our meeting, and you must be proud of this kind of conference and leader of the world movement. If you legalize in Slovenia, it must be third. The first is Uruguay and Canada next year, and you must be like in the following third. So,
Okay, hvala za ta zaključek, mislim za ta aplauz Tedu, zaslužil si ga, ker je prišel zelo daleč. Jaz bi vas povabil zdaj vse skupaj, ker hočete dol, da se poslikamo za naš arhiv, in pa vas povabil na naslednjo konferenco, upam, da bo že 1. oktobra, če bo vse po sreči, sigurno se bomo pa potrudili pa organizirali še nekaj. Hvala.
Let's not forget the guy that made this all happen. Thank you both.